So let's start, Mark and David, with Particle Fever. Your first documentary, and you won a DuPont. That's really not bad. And, you know, as you pointed out last night at the ceremony, you're not even journalists, which is pretty amazing.
True. We're not. I'm not even in the film business, although I guess I am now, yeah. And I'm leaving soon. I'm a physicist, and you know, sometimes a story is so important it doesn't matter who you are. And so in my case, it was 2006, and I thought this amazing thing was about to happen, and I wanted it recorded, and I wanted it to be recorded correctly. And I'd not seen the kind of science reporting where they captured my experience of it. And I knew it was impossible to teach particle physics in 90 minutes. Actually, at that point, I thought it was a 2-hour film, but 90-minute film. But I did know that there must be a way that you could experience being a physicist, and at a time where things were very dramatic. And I thought, if you could just get to know us, we had the ingredients. There were a handful of people who I loved, and I knew if anybody knew them, they would love them too.
So how did you and Mark come together?
When I met David, so what happened is I was actually pitching a script to a group of investors for a fiction script. And they told me about some guy, a physicist, who had come to them. And, you know, he had no film experience, and they didn't know if the experiment would ever work, and if it worked, they may not even find anything, and so they just thought this was the craziest thing in the world. And I said, sounds like a great film to me. And so I contacted David through that. And when I contacted him, I was not interested in doing a typical science documentary. I mean, I was in the fiction world. I liked telling stories. That was what my experience was. And when I met David and said, you know, this is what I would be interested in, and he said, that's what I'm interested in. And of course, I knew the characters, so, you know, David's, you know, impetus to try to really reveal these people. These are people I knew too. I actually was a theoretical particle physicist and knew this community. And we approached it from the beginning as a dramatic film. So even though it was a different mode in some sense, a documentary, I was approaching it and using all the tools that I had developed as a narrative filmmaker.